Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. On today's program, we learn all about the upcoming Sleigh Bells Fair at the Quincy Point Congregational Church later on this week. First, though, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, we've got partly sunny skies out there. It is breezy, 51 degrees right now. The temperatures will be falling throughout the afternoon. We've already seen our high for the day. Temperatures will fall into the 40s later on today and down into the lower 30s by this evening with that brisk wind. That sets us up for a cooler day tomorrow. Lots of sunshine, though. Highs tomorrow only in the mid-40s. We're back into the wind and the rain here on Wednesday, but it will be very mild, a high near 60 degrees. On Wednesday, the first day of December, is Thursday, and it's going to feel like it. Lots of sunshine, cool temperatures in the lower 40s here on Thursday. It looks dry right through the end of the week after Wednesday. Again, partly sunny, breezy, 51 in Quincy right now. Checking news for you today, construction of the new public safety complex here in Quincy will be moving forward now that the City Council has approved an additional $23 million for that project. Councilors voted 7-1 in favor of the additional funding last week after the administration blamed inflation for the cost increase. The Finance Committee Chairman, Ward 5 Councilor Chuck Phelan, said that it didn't make sense to prolong the vote because the new facility is badly needed.
I think we have a chance now. If we decide not to pass this money tonight, we're not going to be doing a station, you know, a public safety. Are we going to wait another 10 years or something to do it? And I think now is the time. We have the money, we have the thing. We should be moving forward on it, and I plan on supporting it. I always respect my counselors who come up with different ideas and want us to look at things. But I think at this point, we've looked at the numbers. Inflation is something that basically has hit everyone. And there's not much a chance. Are we going to leave it half finished the way it is right now, or are we going to move forward? So I am voting in the affirmative for this tonight, and I will be voting yes on it. I think it's something that's long overdue. That's something we have. It's time to accomplish it. It's time to finish this job.
Councilor at Large Ann Mahoney voted against the additional funding, saying the administration was incompetent by not finding ways to trim the cost increases. Mayor Thomas Koch said he would not compromise on the quality of the new building. The council previously approved $120 million for the project. Completion is now set for the middle of 2025. At least 3 people have taken out nomination papers to run for the Quincy Ward 4 City Council seat. A special election will be held to fill the seat vacated when Brian Palmucci resigned after being appointed a district court judge. City Clerk Nicole Crispo says that candidates have until December 13th to return their nomination papers with the signatures of at least 50 Ward 4 voters.
It's here to stay. Vote by mail. We'll be sending out. We're having the postcards printed now. Get those out in the mail as soon as we can, and then we'll be waiting for that December 13th date to make sure that we're all certified for the people who wish to run, the candidates. Once we get that done, we'll put together position on the ballot. Once we get that, we'll be able to get those ballots printed and in the mail to those people. We'll also have early voting here at City Hall. It won't be in the chamber. It'll be right here in our suite over here in the election department.
If needed, a preliminary election will be held on January 17th with the final election on February 7th. The special election winner will serve out the remainder of the term through next year and can then run for the full 2-year term if they choose. Councilor at Large Noel DeBona is handling Ward 4 issues until a new councilor is elected. The new $3.7 billion economic development bill that was approved by the state legislature recently includes $500,000 for the creation of the Adams Presidential Center in Quincy Center. Mayor Thomas Koch says the process for planning that new center is well underway.
We fully have formed the nonprofit, so we are now in business as a nonprofit, and it can accept donations now. So the first meeting of the board, the founding board, is in a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay.
General Joe Dunford is chairing that, and there's a number of individuals that have agreed to go on the board. And from here out, there'll be a lot of fundraising activity from the board to raise necessary funding to get it to a place of good planning, of course, and then enough money to construct the building. So we have a ways to go, but it's there's a lot of excitement around it. We're getting good response. We have some real high-powered board members, so good stuff.
That new center would be built on land that the city purchased adjacent to the Adams Academy on Adams Street in Quincy Center. City of Quincy considering implementing a composting program. A mayoral task force recently made a presentation to the City Council regarding a plan that would allow residents to compost their food waste. City Council President Noel DeBona said there are still many questions that need to be answered.
Obviously, it's in the administration's hands right now. We were only just talking about it at the city council level as a discussion. It's a great first discussion. I had mentioned to Shelley, Dean, and Emily that, let's get some more information. Let's get some more education. Maybe even go out with a questionnaire. Ask the folks of the city of Quincy how they feel about it and how many people are involved out of all the residents of the city who would want to do that as a composting service. So I think we get a little bit more information. We'll figure it out as we go down the road.
The task force said that a composting program could save the city $200,000 per year in trash removal costs by eliminating 6,300 tons of food waste from the trash stream annually. Well, Thanksgiving was much better for about 1,500 people in southeastern Massachusetts, all thanks to the efforts of hundreds of volunteers and Father Bill's and Mainspring of Quincy and Brockton. Community dinners were held at Christ Church in Quincy and at Mainspring House in Brockton on Thanksgiving Day. In addition, about 1,000 meals were delivered to people who couldn't attend the in-person events. Father Bill says it was the largest single-day meal total in that agency's history, and they attribute that to inflation this year. The community dinners were scaled back last year. They were canceled in 2020 due to the pandemic. That is our check of news. Coming up, the Quincy Point Congregational Church Fair this year will be held to raise money to renovate the kitchen at the Quincy Point Fire Station. We will learn more about that next. Welcome back. It is that time of year once again, time for church fairs, auctions, bazaars, fundraisers, all kinds of events and activities to celebrate the holiday season. And one of them is coming up this coming weekend here in Quincy at the Quincy Point Congregational Church. It is their Sleigh Bells Fair with a special mission this year to raise some money to help renovate the kitchen, the Quincy Point Fire Station. So Reverend Kim Murphy and Deanna Van Shagen are here to tell us all about it. Hi, ladies. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks
Nice
for
to
having
be
us
here.
Yeah, it's great to have you both. Happy holidays.
You as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Reverend, I thought we could maybe start with you and just talk a little bit about your background and your mission and your journey here to Quincy and how that happened.
Oh boy. Well, about 5 years ago, I came to Quincy Point in the summer of 2018. Before that, I was working for the Episcopal Diocese in Massachusetts. Before that, I was in Western Mass.
Oh.
Before that, I was in Maine. Before that, I was in Connecticut. But I grew up in East Bridgewater.
Oh,
so
okay.
Coming back to Quincy Point is a lot like coming back home.
Yeah,
so
and always
really
in New
happy to be
England,
here.
so.
Yeah, always in New England, kind of bouncing around a little bit.
Right,
But it's
right.
really nice to be here. When I was growing up in East Bridgewater, Quincy was like, the other side of the world. So it's really
It's the big city, right?
It's the big city.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to actually get to know Quincy, and I really like it a lot.
Yeah. How has your experience been at Quincy Point Con?
Well,
You have to look to Deanna for that, right?
No, to be careful. No, it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it and enjoyed all the ministry, the mission that the church is really focused on, and just really getting to know the community in Quincy Point and beyond. And
Well, it has a long, storied history, as you're well aware, in the city. Was the Church of the Shipyard Workers for many, many years.
It was.
I'm sure you've seen the demographics change.
Oh,
over the
yeah,
years,
definitely. I don't even know how many dialects and languages are spoken in the Quincy Point area alone.
Right.
But there's a significant immigrant population, which is, I think, just makes it more, it just makes it interesting and lively, and it's just been really a fun opportunity to be there.
You follow in the footsteps of one of the theological greats of Quincy, the Pastor Ann Susadeau. But she's
Yeah.
still active in the church, right?
She's still active. When was it, just before the pandemic, we honored her as Pastor Emerita.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. She actually was planning to be here today, but foregoed in your stead. So
Yeah.
I think that was very generous of her to do that, for sure. And Deanna, you have been on the program here in the past.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. And we're happy to have you back. How long have you been active at Quincy Point?
I have been active in Quincy Point for about 50 years.
Is that all?
That's all. That's all. Yes, yes.
So you have seen many changes.
I have.
Yeah.
I have seen many changes. I came to the church when Reverend Baharian was there. And we've gone through all of the trials and tribulations of new pastors. And we're thriving, as churches can at this point.
Right. Yeah.
And we love that Kim is with us.
Well, that's very nice, and you have a very active congregation, I know. You know, we're just going to focus on the fair today, but I know, Reverend, there are events throughout the year. And even during the pandemic, you quickly pivoted, as you will, to remote services, right?
We did.
Yeah.
We were very fortunate that we had people in our church that understood that we had to do something to reach people, and embracing technology was one of them. I mean, churches move at the speed of a tanker, you know, that you have to make those corrections way back before you actually can pivot. So our church is very nimble, I guess, and able to make those decisions rather quickly. So we upgraded our sound system, we upgraded our cameras. There's some really interesting technology that we're using. We have a lot of volunteers that are operating the cameras and the sound system, a lot better lighting. So we were able to really make those changes and quickly. So we're very happy about that.
Yeah, we were happy to partner with you here at QATV as well to provide the good news
Yes.
to our viewers too. So we appreciate you using us for
we
that
appreciate
opportunity.
as
Sure.
well.
Sure. So let's talk about the fair.
Okay.
The Sleigh Bells Fair is actually a two-day event, right? Starts this Friday, December 2nd, then again on Saturday, December 3rd. Is this an annual event, Reverend? Takes place?
Since the pandemic, we've had two fairs.
Okay.
We've had a fall fair before, but the Christmas fair seems, the first weekend in December just seems to be, people are done with the fall, they're done with Thanksgiving, they're looking forward to Christmas, so it's a really good opportunity for us to take advantage of the people's Christmas spirit.
Sure. How was the decision made to donate the proceeds from this year's fair to help renovate the kitchen at the Quincy Point Fire Station?
I have to throw it back to Reverend Ann.
Okay.
This was her idea. After the pandemic, before the pandemic, a lot of our ministry was raising funds for little groups within Quincy, or not little groups, but small amounts of money, kind of portioned out to groups. And after the pandemic, there was some brainstorming. Well, what can we do that has a much more significant impact on the community? So last year we raised money for the school systems, Clifford Marshall and Point Webster, in particular, to augment their budget for their music programs.
Oh, very
music,
nice.
as you know, is very important to Quincy Point. We have the South Shore Children's Chorus. We're the home of the South Shore Piano School. So we take music very seriously, and we know that having music is a great source of discipline. It opens the world up for so many people, and we just wanted to afford that opportunity. So we were able to raise that money, and the schools were able to use that to purchase keyboards and other musical instruments. So this summer, we were again brainstorming what organization in the Quincy Point area would we like to help out. And Reverend Ann came up with the fire station. I don't know how she came up with it. I don't know if it just was a bolt from the blue, but she said, well, I think we need to work on helping the fire station, and maybe there's something that we can do there to upgrade. So I contacted the fire chief and said, like, this is going to be weird, but we would like to do over the fire station kitchen. And he was gracious and said, oh, that would be fun, and contacted the fire captain, and we had a tour of the fire station kitchen, and it really does need some serious upgrade.
Okay. Well, the station itself is about 80 years old, I think, right?
And I think the kitchen's the original kitchen. I was waiting.
They don't still have a wood stove, do they?
No, but I was waiting for like the coal-fired wood stove. But yeah, it needs some love.
Yeah.
Definitely needs some love.
Well, a lot of focus was placed on first responders, throughout the pandemic, because they were literally on the front line. So I think probably Reverend Ann had that thought in mind as
I'm
well.
sure, yeah,
to give
she
back.
did.
Not only that, but Quincy Point is growing, as you mentioned, by leaps and bounds. There are some large high-rises. There are a lot of senior elderly complexes. So firefighters, need to be on their ball and need to be well-fed.
Yep.
And I'm sure the kitchen is a good place to start to do that.
I think so. It's a good place to decompress.
Yeah.
It's a good place to just have fellowship and just be with one another in a relaxing atmosphere.
It's the heart of any home, right?
Exactly.
And they consider they call them firehouses actually, because they consider it their second home. So that'd be a very nice gift, yeah. So how much do you hope to raise?
Well, we would like to raise as much as we possibly can
of
to
course.
put toward the kitchen. The renovation, I mean, I'm a weekend warrior as far as renovations go. In my estimation, it would be about a $30,000 renovation to do everything.
Okay.
So we know it's going to be the long haul, so that we can raise money to do things maybe not all at once, but in stages.
Oh, all right.
So
Okay.
right now we have about, and this is wonderful, and thank everybody for their donations. We have about $3,000 already.
Before the fair?
Before the fair,
Nice.
before the doors are even open.
Okay.
So as much as people can donate, we'll greatly receive that.
Okay.
And so we're looking at new counters and cabinets and probably a new workstation because it's a little bit chopped up, a new refrigerator, their stove, and their dishwasher are pretty new. A new sink and a new faucet have already been donated, and maybe some lighting, just some of those things to just make it more welcoming.
Okay. Do you need in-kind services like from contractors or suppliers? Or
We
material?
maybe suppliers, but we
Okay.
do have people connected to our church that would be able to do the contracting.
Okay. All right.
And the city of Quincy will most likely would take care
Well,
of the
sure.
electrical and the plumbing. So
It's a
that's,
city building, so sure, yeah, okay. The cabinets are going to be your biggest expense, I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Those are cost prohibitive in some cases.
They are, they
So
are.
that's great. So let's talk about the fair. Deanna, I know that is your passion, and you've already got some items I see that have been handmade to sell at the fair. Tell me all about it. Yeah.
We do. Doug Tatro, one of our members, is a woodworker, and he's made a birdhouse that is a replica of the firehouse at Quincy Point.
Neat.
And he has also made, for some of the kids, he's made fire engines.
Yep.
And they
Pull
have
that
a
up just
ladder
little
that
bit.
works.
Yeah, very good.
And it has another ladder here. So they have things that they can do that's
Yeah, hold that up,
interactive.
Deanna. Hold that up nice and there you go, right there, perfect, nice. With the number 3 on
And
the
it's
side.
got
of
number
course.
3 on the side.
Yep.
It does. Yeah. So this is pretty much fun. I can see a little kid playing with this and
Yeah, it harkens
making
back
all
to
making all the noises that have to go with it.
An old-fashioned Christmas, really.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All on top of a beautiful table runner, I see, that's
Yes.
been made as well.
And
yeah.
these table run, we have several of these that are
Yep.
going to be for sale.
Nice.
And they were made by Reverend Ann's sister,
Oh, very nice.
who lives in the Midwest, and she is a quilt maker extraordinaire,
Okay,
and
yeah.
she, as Ann says, whipped up these things for us.
Just, in her past downtime, yeah.
Right,
That's
right.
a special skill, quilt making.
Yeah, it is.
You've brought a
We
bag of fun.
I bought
Yeah.
a little bit like Mary Poppins.
Yes.
These were also made by one of our parishioners. Joyce Romeri made these.
Very
and
nice.
we have snowmen of all sizes. We have some that are much larger than this that we
Oh,
didn't
really?
bring.
Oh, okay.
So Anyway.
Frosty
those-
and Friends.
Frosty and Friends, yes, those are fun. And notice, because of the Jingle Bell Fair, we have a Jingle Bell on that.
Very nice.
What else do we have?
And these are all handmade by members of the congregation.
These are all handmade by members of the
Yeah.
congregation.
So folks have really stepped
We're
up.
going to have a lot of grab-and-go gifts, we're calling them.
Okay.
And this one is maple syrup and pancake mix with a spoon that was made also in the USA. So if you have someone that you want to remember at Christmas, if you're going to a party and you need to bring a hostess gift,
Perfect.
these are all ready and wrapped and ready for you to take with you. So we've got quite a few of these
Okay.
of different kinds.
Very fun.
We've got a couple that are with the city of Quincy. We've got others that are hot chocolate and chocolate bombs, which are the big thing this year.
Okay.
So we have those things.
Okay, put that right down because it's blocking your beautiful face.
All
There
right,
you
we'll
go.
move that down. And we have aprons because we have a country store. Which
At the church?
we're putting together
Oh,
a
at the
country
fair.
store at the
Okay.
fair, and with many items that are not found at your average church fair.
Okay.
And we're going to have 20 or 25 aprons of all kinds. We've got some firehouse aprons.
Sure.
We've got some with Dalmatians on
Oh,
them.
fun. Yeah.
We've got some for kids.
Okay.
We've got Christmas ones. So
These are your
that's going to
creations,
be
right?
fun. This is my creation. Yes, it is.
Very
yeah.
nice.
Yep. And what else do we have?
Angel
And we're going to
table.
have a guardian angel table. And we have several different angels of all different types.
Okay.
Tree toppers, not tree toppers. We've got some that are large. We've got some that have cross stitch on them that our members did. They did the cross stitch and then they brought them back and somebody else put them together.
Okay. So this
So-
really is a team effort. So
It is
Reverend,
it is an all church fair.
I mean, given the frontal aspects of what a fair is about, raising money for this particular cause, the back end of it is it's bringing people together in the congregation, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It definitely is. It helps unify the church to know that everything that we're doing has a purpose and everything is very helpful in achieving our goals.
Yeah.
And it really does bring people together.
Yeah.
And I can't do any of that, so you don't want me to try.
Lets people show off their talents and their skills,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And also contribute and feel like
Exactly.
they're having an
And
impact.
some of the other things that we're having, we have a young photographer, professional photographer that grew up in our church, and she's going to be taking pictures that people can buy.
Oh, that's a
They
great
can
idea.
also have them digital.
Yep.
And we have pizzas to go,
Okay.
and we've got a lot of fun things.
It sounds like
Yeah.
it. It really
And
does.
Our concert on Friday night
Yes.
is new. This is the second year that we're doing that.
Okay.
And we have Stephen Sweet, who is the pipe major of the Greater Boston Firefighters Pipe and Drum Band.
Oh.
And he is going to be there supporting us through the firefighters.
Nice.
And we have an EMT who is going to be singing. She is a professional. She used to sing in our choir, but now is left that to be an EMT, so she's coming back.
Very nice.
And then the South Shore Children's Chorus and the students from the South Shore Piano School, which are both housed at Quincy Point, and we're very proud of that.
That's perfect.
We're very proud of all these kids that are making music, and it makes the building alive.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it's fun seeing all these kids come in.
So that's Friday night, 7
That's
o'clock.
Friday night at
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
So doors open
Right.
at 6:30. The
Right.
concert's at 7, and then the following day is an all-day affair,
All day affair.
Yeah.
Right.
9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you'll have your items for sale.
That's when we'll have our items for sale, both Friday night and Saturday.
Okay. And I understand baskets, raffle baskets as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
a whole raft of baskets. We have firefighter baskets. We have baskets for kids. We have baskets with food. We have bird watching baskets. There are just so many baskets. Mostly, well, we know people like to eat, so we have a lot of food baskets. So come and see what there is for a basket and buy a raffle ticket, and
Sure.
you might be able to take that home with you.
The basket's also organized by the members of the congregation. Yeah.
And we had a couple of donations from the mother of a firefighter, just because, which was so sweet. We really appreciate that.
That's super. And then, of course, service on Sunday, right?
Oh yeah, that thing. Oh yeah, yes. Well, I don't know. Just bring your cup of coffee and just show up, I guess. No, we have it is Advent, and we're very
Right.
excited about that. So it's a lot of fun.
Anything else we should let folks know about?
We also have a silent auction.
Oh, okay.
And there are several wonderful things in the silent auction. There's some buyer's carolers. There are some antique glass things.
Okay.
There are also some, there's going to be a week vacation at a little camp in Vermont.
Fun. Okay, and is that
That will be a silent auction item.
okay? Is that on the website, or is that going to be at the fair itself?
No, it'll be at the fair
At the
itself.
fair itself.
Mhm.
Okay. All
At the
right.
fair itself, right.
Thank you
So-
very much for coming over today, and I hope you have a very successful event and raise lots of money and get the boys a new Quincy Point Fire Station kitchen.
We're
Right.
going to get them a new kitchen.
All right.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank
Just
you.
enough time to check the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. Temperatures will be cooling off as that wind picks up down into the 40s by this afternoon, and as you see, down to the lower 30s this evening. It is the end of November after all. Tomorrow is a really seasonable day. Sunshine, a few clouds, mid-40s, wind and rain and warm here on Wednesday. It clears out again for December, with the highs Thursday in the mid-40s. Thanks again to Reverend Kim Murphy and to Deanna Van Shagen for joining us from the Quincy Point Congregational Church.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you to our crew. Thank you for watching. Friday here on the show, Marie McCabe is coming over. We'll learn about the Good Neighbor Energy Fund this year. Don't forget our website is available anytime, qatv.org. All of our latest programs there, news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great week.